Now, crews are back on the water this morning for their recovery efforts to continue. Officials say the divers have already faced several challenges, including jet fuel in the water and debris cutting into their dive gear. And today, rain could make visibility even tougher. Our Marcella Robertson joins us live from Reagan National Airport. And Marcella, we understand there was a ground stoppage at that airport until just about 15 minutes ago at 8:45. What's going on?
Yeah, good morning to you. Well, the FAA issued that ground stop around 7:30 this morning because volume was too high here at the airport. It was supposed to be lifted at about 8:45, but at 8:35 already we saw planes starting to take off again, and that is the case here again this morning. I do want to get to the latest on the investigation into this tragic mid-air collision. As you mentioned, the black boxes from that American Airlines flight, they have been recovered. 40 of the 67 victims have been recovered so far as well. And this morning we have seen crews back out here on the water surrounding part of the wreckage of the plane. We understand that divers will try to go back into the water, and a lot of their focus will really be twofold, right? Finding the rest of the victims and also trying to salvage some of the wreckage to help with this NTSB investigation. I want to show you some new video from this morning. Now that we have daylight, it is a little easier to see again exactly what we are dealing with, and you can see part of that plane still in the Potomac River. As Jonathan had mentioned, the rain is expecting to make recovery efforts a little bit more difficult. Crews, they certainly have a wide debris field to cover as far as the Wilson Bridge. That could potentially spread with the weather that we're seeing today. The plane's fuselage was split into 3 separate sections, and the NTSB says while those black boxes are a very important part of this investigation, they will be looking at all factors no matter how long it takes.
Our investigative team will be on scene as long as it takes in order to obtain all of the perishable evidence and all of the fact-finding that is needed to bring us to a conclusion of probable cause. Our mission is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to recommend changes to prevent it from happening again.
And of course, why it happened is that big question. The NTSB will release a preliminary report within 30 days, but we know that full report and that full investigation could take months. So back out here live at Reagan, I do want to set the scene a little bit more, right? Because it is a very heavy morning. Inside you have full terminals, long TSA lines, operations back to normal, but things we know as far as the recovery efforts for our area, the devastation this has caused for families, that is far from over and certainly not back to normal. And then outside here you have, recovery crews that are doing their work feet from the runway. So imagine that, right? These planes are taking off and landing, and you still see that wreckage just feet from the runway. So those crews certainly have a difficult time ahead of them, and we'll be sure to update you the very latest on their efforts and the investigation as it progresses. Back to you.
Things might not seem normal for quite some time. Marcella, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much. And of course, for the families, they are forever changed. We will keep you updated about this tragedy on air and on WUSA 9+, and we have been streaming news conferences and bringing you updates from investigators and recovery teams. And you can download WUSA 9+ right now for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or wherever you stream. Stay with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes.